Hey everybody, what's going on? These following videos are of me doing some quarter repair on my 1983 Dodge Ramcharger. These videos were shot at the beginning of springtime this year, 2014. I was a little fatter then too. But hey, it's some good info. There's a little bit of cursing in there. I apologize for that, but hey, you're out in the garage, you gotta curse a little bit, right? Anyways, here it is. I'll show you what I did with my quarters on my truck. And hope you enjoy it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, and don't worry, fat's not contagious most of the time. Bye-bye. Alright guys, remember that screw? It was supposed to be a piece of body molding brad. Take one of these, it's called a vice grip. Grab onto the head of that sucker. And adjust it right here. When you turn that sucker, it snaps loose. You back that screw out. You don't need it. We're going to try to replace that with something better or correct. You don't need it. Obviously it was somebody's attempt to fix that, and it cost me a body clip for my molding. It's not bad, it's solid, except for this rust, as Sean from the Hack and Pack would say. Rust. Alright, so I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, watching, listening, and learning from my friend Pete. He's the man, by the way, and there's a couple other guys out there that are pretty darn good on YouTube, but I've learned a lot. I knew a lot before, but it's always good to get a good perspective from somebody else. So next installment will be getting this sucker cleaned up and taking the paint off and getting my new panels ready to go. Hang on, I'll show you those. Alright. I already bought rust repair. I already bought rust repair panels for this thing. They're a generic panel. Check Google. The internet's on there. You can find anything you want on there. But these were there. They're made for pretty much 68 through 90 something, and when you have a later model Dodge, you gotta cut, so they say, part of the quarter out. Now with me, I only replaced what I need to replace, so that means the rust will get out of there, but I'll show you how I'm going to set that up. And of course I'm doing this in my garage, where a body shop would do this in their shop where they have all the accessible tools. I just have a crappy compressor, and it's a Craftsman that's about 10 years old, and I'll show it to you guys at some point here. And a set of vice grips that have been welded into flanging pliers. And of course I have a welder. It's a Lincoln 110. Don't quote me on that. I'll get you more specifics, but it's a MIG with I use an argon mix. And I'll do when I go to do it, I'm going to do a flange weld, probably along here, depending on how bad this is. This looks pretty pitted. If it's real bad, I'll cut it out and replace it. I'll do a flange weld across here, keeping this body line out of my body work. And I'll do a butt weld right here. And of course, on the bottom here, I'll drill and do spot welds along the body here. And of course, I am big on rust treatment and prevention. I will keep that stuff going as long as I can without problems. So anyways, I'll show you how I do it. Everybody has their different way of doing things. Obviously, there needs to come some disclaimers. If you don't wear safety glasses, you deserve to have your eyes knocked out, pretty much. Your depth perception goes with one eye, guys. Gotta protect them. Gotta protect your eyes. There's a reason why we have two, but on the same token, nobody wants to lose an eye for a hobby. Also, you don't want to cut your fingers off. You don't want to cut an arm off, sever an artery, do anything stupid. So we wear gloves, we wear protective equipment when we use grinders and welders. All of that stuff. I see guys all the time on YouTube not wearing welding masks, or at least, at the very minimum, welding goggles. And I'm here to tell you, folks, if you don't wear those goggles or mask, I've got 3 of them. The one I use primarily is an auto darkening mask. The reason I use it is because it's easy to see in between, and it's worth the extra money. So if you're going to spend money on a welding mask, buy an auto darkening. It'll save you a lot of time if you set it up right. And the reason you want to use that is because if you weld without wearing a mask, you'll see a dot for about 2 or 3 days in your vision. And what you're doing is you're burning your retina. And you don't want to do that. It does eye damage, and after a while it does permanent eye damage. Also, when you're grinding, you don't want to catch slag in your eye, you don't want to catch slag on your skin. Same with welding, you don't want to catch slag in your skin. Anybody who's welding long enough knows that you don't want to do that, because when you catch slag on your skin, usually it burns right through your clothes, rolls down your back, rolls down your arm, burns the crap out of you, and there's nothing you can do about it until it cools off. So I always try to wear protective equipment when I do that. Safety glasses, a must. Gloves. Coming from a guy who's a mechanic, who's been a mechanic since he was, well, old enough to freaking basically understand the understandings of mechanical crap. 8 years old, 9 years old, I was pulling Volkswagen stuff apart. You pretty much, if you can, stick some gloves on. Stick some gloves on. Protect your hands. If nothing else, just to keep them from cutting up. That stuff is not worth, your hobbies are not worth dying for, is basically what I'm saying. And if you're doing this for a career, that stuff is worth doing correctly. All of this is worth doing correctly. And the reason I'm posting these videos is not just because there are jack shit out there for Dodge Ramchargers or any old Dodges on YouTube, but because I want everyone to see how, if they want to do this stuff on their Dodge and they're questioning, like I've learned a lot from YouTube, how to do it and how to do it in your own garage. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay, so we finally got this trim off, and let me show you what's going on here. Alright, you got our rust bubbles there. That quarter looks really good. That's the original paint. This belonged to an old man, and then it got painted with house paint, and then painted with some cheap primer black. Well, there's the problem right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, if the camera's picking it up. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. Bondo over rust. Okay, there is no telling what's underneath that. I'm going to get the DA out and start sanding this quarter a little bit, especially where this is, because I'm concerned that this quarter is basically made out of plastic. Okay, you can see right here what I was talking about. Bondo, and I don't know if it's screen material or what. Whatever they made it out of, it's not good. Rust and shitty, I don't know, it looks like those pads you use to sand drywall. Whatever they made it out of, it's junk. That's not gonna fly here. So, we're gonna dig into this, start cleaning it out a little bit, figure out what we can and can't replace. We're gonna get this other little piece of trim off right here, and we're gonna see what we can do with this. Like I said, I want to uncover this. There's Bondo right there. That's not good when you got a rust pocket right there, and all they did was Bondo over it and stick the trim back on. That's not good, but you know, it is a... Holy crap, you watched that whole thing? He never knew when to quit. See you on the next one.